What's happening, guys? Paul Sharp with Paul Sharp Coaching. I help people transform themselves mentally, physically, spiritually. If you want to get that work, hit me up and let's get to work. All right, guys, wanted to talk to you a little bit about the Walther PDP. This is the 4-inch full size because the receiver is a full size. You could put a 5-inch slide on here, whatever you want to do, but it's pretty cool. So basically you get, I'm going to refer to a Glock. You get basically a 17 size grip, magazine capacity, all that good stuff, but with a 19-inch or a G19, a G19 size slide. So it's a little easier to carry appendix, that kind of thing. Also coming out of, if you're carrying strong side, coming out of that strong side holster, you clear the holster a little sooner. Inch, half inch makes a difference. Maybe, maybe not, but it is what it is. Some people appreciate having that 4-inch slide. I definitely do when I'm carrying appendix. Gotta say, it does make a difference. After years of carrying Glock 17s and Beretta 92s and 1911s, you know, that 4.5 and also M&P full size and the 5-inch M&Ps, the M&P 45, which is a 5-inch gun. Years and years of carrying that 4.5 to 5-inch length slide, it makes a difference. Does make a difference in material inside the waistband. So let's talk about this thing. I continue to be impressed. Man, this thing, I'm getting 18 rounds out of it when I'm running it with a, actually, yeah, it's 19 rounds actually. I'm getting 19 rounds out of this pistol with a full mag and one in the chamber. That's not a bad carry option. When you think about, do I carry a spare mag or not? Sometimes you drop the spare mag so that you can carry something else. It gives me 19 rounds on board the pistol. That's not a bad deal. Now, there's a couple things I like about it. I like that it has front cocking serrations. I don't know if you can see those, but those are pretty distinct, man. They're pretty gnarly. Like, they will grip. So I like that the front cocking serrations, especially on with the optic and that kind of thing. I don't want to have to reach back here, grab my optic. Not that I'm one of those guys that wants to baby the optic. I just don't want to smudge it up more than it's going to get smudged up carrying in the waistband from sweat and whatever. So, and also I just like having that ability to press check from the front if need be. And it's just another way to manipulate the pistol. So having the aggressive front and rear cocking serrations, kind of cool. You can reach over or you can slingshot. Either way works. Or you can come up to the front and operate this thing. So there's a lot of options. The other thing I like about it is it's truly ambidextrous. I can drop it out and I can run the slide. I can drop the mag. I can do everything I need to do with the pistol in my left hand because ambi slide releases or slide locks, whatever nomenclature you choose to use. The other thing that's really working well for this pistol is the C&H Precision optic. It's mounted directly to, this is a Gen 2 Walther, so they make an optic designed for the Gen 2 Walther to mount directly to the slide. Mounted it as directed, and it is operating really well. There is a Modern Samurai Project recoil rod and spring in here, so it's a little lighter spring. I prefer to have, in a 9mm gun, I like to have anywhere from an 11 to 13 pound recoil spring. Some people don't think it matters. It's just personal preference, man. I like the way that recoil impulse feels when I'm riding it. Yeah, it's a little more slammy, a little more whippy, but slams back onto place real quick. And that's what I like. I also like the ability to manipulate with one hand against any part of my body, right? So if I had to deal with a malfunction or a reload or something like that, I can do all of that with this lighter recoil spring. It's just not overly sprung as German guns tend to be. Now, about 10,000 rounds through this thing, it has not been cleaned. I am intentionally running it dirty just to see when it will malfunction. And so far, there has been no mechanical malfunction. There's a little bit of wear. I don't know if you can see that right in there. Starting to get a little bit of wear from the warm-up drill that I do before I do my dry practice, which is basically this right here. I just take the pistol through all the firing cycles except for the loud bang. So there's no trigger press, but I'm just unlocking, extracting, ejecting, right? dropping the mag out because I want to practice a reload. Drive that mag back in, and then load chamber lock, right? So now we're back into play. Oh, here's another piece I wanted to share with you guys. So on the dry fire, this is kind of cool, man. I don't know if you can see that or not, but see where the trigger's at? That's the full range of motion on that trigger. All right, so you heard the trigger break, right? Right? Now watch, see where the trigger is? Right? Break the trigger, but that is the full range of motion on the trigger, man. So when I'm manipulating that trigger, that's pretty cool. With the Glock, you basically have a dead trigger. With the M&P, you have a dead trigger. So you can continue to press on the dead trigger just to practice, because I'm just whacking my finger through there anyway. But you can continue to press on that dead trigger, but it's kind of nice to have this, similar to what you would have with like the Beretta 92s and the H&Ks, the P30s, where you have that double action trigger pull, and when you're dry firing, it just stays double action. So you get used to dealing with a little bit of kind of hitting that speed bump en route from the front of the trigger guard to the rear of the trigger guard, right? So you just treat it as a speed bump. I think Brian Enos wrote about that one time. It's just something that you just encounter on your way as your finger's traveling through there, so you don't give it too much consideration. Also, that keeps you from mentally getting hung up on, oh, this is my duty gun, it's got this heavy ass trigger, it's hard to press, blah, blah, blah. You take all the excuses away and you just run it. And so, yeah, that's a pretty cool feature, don't you think? So, kind of cool things about this pistol. I am still digging it. I am running it at the moment out of a Raven Concealment Systems Phantom holster because of an injury. I've got a sports hernia going on. Man, that's a painful thing. I hope you guys never have to deal with it. It is not pleasant, it is not fun, and it is highly not recommended. I got it just in jiu-jitsu, being cold, trying to do something, trying to jump in and do something, and my body was not warmed up. I was cold, and just from talking to my physical therapist and my doctor and what I've researched meaning I've looked up on YouTube, pretty much the injury happened the way you'd expect it to happen. It's how a lot of people have got that injury. So I should be back to carrying appendix real soon, and I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, that's about it, guys. Digging this pistol. It's got a lot of potential, man. So sweet, man. Come on. For a polymer gun, look at that. I don't know if you can see it, but it's got a good range of travel. But right there's the wall, and that's it. Listen to that. Can you hear it? Right there. Right, we're up to the wall. So at the wall, and look, man, that's not a lot of travel. That's a nice trigger, man. Completely stock. Hand to God. Completely stock. Have done nothing to this gun but shoot it. Put an optic on it and put Jedi's recoil assembly system in there. That's it, man. Lots of ammo, lots of stuff from SuperVel. Like I said, no malfunctions. Go back to that. No malfunctions outside of ammo, and that was just hard primers. Just a hard primer. And out of 10,000 rounds, almost 10,000 rounds now, 3? Come on. That's nothing. That is nothing. 3 rounds out of 10,000 had a hard primer. Drop it out, pick it up off the ground, put it back in the mag, feed it again, let her run, and went bang. So, good stuff. Pick one up, man. These things are inexpensive. The optic's inexpensive. The recoil assembly is inexpensive. That's all you need on this thing, and just start shooting it. Also, throw some of that Gunfighter gun oil. I use that. You can get that through the Carry Trainer website. Gunfighter gun oil is what's keeping this thing lubed up, man, and letting her rip. I prefer the grease. So yeah, man, that's about it. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you later.